VG Fight School. Stop running your mouth and tell people how many subscribers Game Pass have, please. I thought you were gonna ask me for a game of Mortal Kombat. Oh goodness, I need to practice my T1000, okay? And it's kind of hard out here in these streets to go into these matches and play with these sweats, okay? So I need someone who can basically kind of help me hone my skills in this area. However, as for Game Pass subscribers that they have, the last official numbers were 34 million. However, though, I see some future Game Pass subscribers in PlayStation Plus users. So, Michael Pierre, shout out to you, man. We need to visit this particular subreddit, and I'm gonna exhaust this subreddit guy. Like I'm gonna squeeze every single ounce of ideas that are coming from this subreddit until they delete it. I'm not gonna stop referencing it. I'm not gonna stop pointing to it. Even though it's an opinion, I think it's an opinion that shows that instead of me to sit here and run my mouth, why don't I just show you what PlayStation players are actually talking about Game Pass? How about that? Now, I wish I had like an AI voice reader, but I don't. This person said, anyone else extremely jealous between the difference in quality between Game Pass and PlayStation Plus recently? Game Pass just this past week, and this was 9 days ago, they've gotten Expedition 33 and Oblivion Remastered as day one releases. I believe they're getting the new Doom game on release as well. Feels like us PlayStation users are getting effed over with what we're receiving in return for our subscription. Michael Pierre, all this talk about how many subscribers Game Pass has, it's not important. It's all just here to pretty much go ahead and, push the conversation aside. But here's what you do. Whenever you do that, it makes me even focus more. See, I enjoy doing this stuff, okay? And I want us to stay on topic because being on topic is the best place we got to be. We can bicker back and forth about how many Game Pass subscribers and all that stuff. We know people are subscribing to Game Pass. We know a bunch of people have Game Pass. In fact, Michael, I won't be surprised if you told me you had a Game Pass subscription. Now, I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you have one. But if you told me you had one, I wouldn't be surprised. Do you know why? Almost every so-called Game Pass detractor or people who are asking about Xbox and Game Pass, I've noticed one thing is that they have Game Pass. At first, they used to say, yeah, I have it. I'm not going to give Xbox money. Oh, I have it because it's Port Pass. It's Rent Pass. They used to call it all these names. But I've realized that they have it. This person says Stalker 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator in November, Black Ops 6 in October, Avowed in February, South of Midnight this month. It's a different league. This person replied and said Ninja Gaiden Black 2 came out around that time, and a new one is coming out later this year. 114 upvotes. Wow. This person said on top of that, the price just increased just recently. This is about PlayStation Plus. Really contemplating whether I should renew this year or not. 348 upvotes. Oblivion Remastered Day 1? That's epic. How much is Game Pass to get Day 1 games? 159 upvotes. Dara OG said Game Pass has always been the better offer. PS Plus Extra is great only if you never buy games or are new to gaming. Game Pass had some dry times, but at its worst, it was equivalent to PS Plus. But since last year, there's no competition. Right now, in the top 10 most sold games on PlayStation, we have Forza, Clair Obscure, Oblivion, Indiana Jones. They're all day one on Game Pass. Like, I can't even compare with PS Plus anymore. In 15 days, there's a new Doom. In 6 months, a new COD. I don't know what they got left, but it's just insane. This is before they announced the gears. Michael Pierre, you need to get in this subreddit, bro. You need to tell these people to stop running their mouths and tell you how many subscribers Game Pass has. Because what I see is more possible potential Game Pass subs if they keep looking at Game Pass. You know what I mean? It's like Medusa. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to quit. Guys, I've been trying to behave myself all day today. Okay? Don't look. Okay? It's kind of like, you're in this ancient Greek mythology. You're going into this lair and it's Medusa's lair. All you have to do is you have to make sure that you don't look. Well, Medusa, she's stalking and everything, And, one guy looks, it turns to stone. Game Pass subscriber. Another guy's like, he's closing his eyes like, I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look. And then they announce another game. Bam! He's like, ah! And then he opens his eyes and then Medusa, Game Pass subscriber. Another PlayStation guy's like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Huh? What's going on here? And then he's like, Doom, what? He looks, Game Pass subscriber. Yo, y'all need to leave me alone, man. I enjoy these videos so much. And you see, here's the beautiful thing. Accept the reality. Know how to move. Know what to do. If not, I'm just going to be telling ancient Greek mythological stories with literally everything that's going on. Like you're just giving me the time of day and a field day at the same time. This person said, my only hope is to have some regulators letting Xbox bring a variant of the Game Pass, like Xbox Play or whatever, to PlayStation. But that's a utopia. 243 upvotes, 55 more replies. Let's read the replies. This person said they have a pretty stacked year outside of that too. Do you notice that not even the PlayStation fans, Michael Pierre, are talking about the number of subscribers on Game Pass? Do you know what they're talking about? They're talking about the games. I have copy and pasted from another reply I left on a different post, but it gives you a wider sense. I need to join this subreddit under another moniker. I just need to just sit there and just read. But it gives you a wider sense of what this year has / will look like for Game Pass subscribers. And this is still missing a bunch of indie titles in the mix. Ladies and gentlemen, this was before the Gears of War announcement. First-party projects: Avowed, South of Midnight, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, Doom: The Dark Ages, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, 3+4, The Outer Worlds 2, Untitled Call of Duty Project, Towerborn, Ninja Gaiden 4, 33 Immortals Arc 2, Mecha Break, Replaced, Winterborough, Dead Static Drive, Sopa, Tale of the Stolen Potato, ABK Backlog Game Additions to Game Pass so far, Diablo, Blizzard Arcade Collection, Diablo 3, Call of Duty Warfare 2, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, Sniper Elite Resistance, Eternal Strands, Atom Fall, Blueprints, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Revenge of the Savage Planet in May, The Altars, Rematch, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers in July, Hollow Knight Skill Song, to be confirmed, Subnautica 2 Firebreak, Mixtape, Witchbrook. I'm not convinced Wildcard Astro is still releasing Arc 2 though, but it's already delayed this year, and I believe they still haven't shown gameplay. This person said, edit, as of you, blah, 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 has pointed out it's worth noting that 2 of the 29 Day 1 titles listed here, Blueprints and Firebreak, are also Day 1 PlayStation Plus Extra as well, in case anybody in the sub was unaware. Their OG said, I'm actually like LMAO, like, please, Microsoft, go to court, go to the FTC, go to your regulators, go wherever you can, and please force your service or a variant of it in every form, in every platform where they're gaming consumers. Effing Sony made more money in 3 years off PS5 than the entire PS4 generation, yet we've seen no improvements and got price increases early. Michael Pierre, Xbox is not your problem. The Game Pass number of subscribers is not your problem. Whether they become 50 mil, 20 mil, 30 mil, whether they go down or whatever it is, what the challenge here is PlayStation able to keep up? Is PlayStation able to offer a value proposition that resonates enough? If not, what are we talking about? Thanks for watching. Peace out.